And we did it! Holy crap, I did a thing. That was amazing. Also, I never get tired of hearing our theme song because it's banging as I flip my non existent hair. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another rendition of Quiz, a TTRPG romp through love, friendship, sometimes yaoi, and some really, really fun times. There's a whole conversation that happened before we went live, and subscribe to the Halfling Wizard Patreon if you want to hear the Queers After Dark podcast. No, just kidding. Oh no, I've been looking forward to it this week. Listen, it is getting close to the holiday season of Thanksgiving, and then as soon as Thanksgiving is over, I officially have to face the most craziest D&D monster of the planet. Miss Mariah Carey is thawing out. I was just like, the clock is ticking, and y'all, that is my next one shot. How are we gonna take down? It's time. Anyways, I am your Q Master, Mikey, and joining me this evening is my intrepid, lovely cast of heroes. Of course, first and foremost, he is back from a romp through real life adventures, and I have exciting stuff planned for him at the top of this session. But playing the wonderful Kyler, our lovely pirate acrobatic, just good smallest bean boy, is Mr. Papriku, Christopher Cristobal, if you will. Yes, I'm gonna embarrass him because it's been a while.
The funny thing about calling me Cristobal is because I think I've told you before. I don't know if folks here on the podcast on the show know though. Is that is basically my parents' nickname for me because when I was a kid, when I learned how to say my name in Spanish, I was so excited about it that they decided to just call me that for the rest of my life. So there, so that was a thing. But yes, I am excited to be back. As you could probably hear, I'm getting over a cold. Because all this traveling definitely took a toll on me. So I had a lot going on, but I'm back. I'm ready to get back into this, and excited to be here.
I'm so happy you're back, and I have some fun stuff planned for Kyler at the top of the episode, so stay tuned for all of that. Of course, also rounding out our panel of players, he is also a good friend of mine. He is, my West Coast brother to a certain extent, my producer partner, my D&D aficionado, and a player here in Queers. Holding it down for the Pacific Northwest is Mr. JT, who plays the lovely Phineas T. Lockwood, and I'm so happy to have you here too.
Yeah, this is what a crazy last couple of game sessions that we've ended up having. It's going to be very interesting to see kind of where this segues into.
I cannot wait. This is going to be a fun episode, and you know what? It neatly wraps up everything that we've been going through for the last couple of months, guys. We made it to the end of the first chapter slash arc slash whatever you want to call it, and so we gonna see how things wrap up here for chapter uno slash dos, because technically the carnival arc was chapter 1/0. So I'm not good at naming numbering things, so math don't be mathing sometimes. But unfortunately, we are missing our newest player, Adolfo, who could not be here this evening, who surprised the heck out of me and JT last session with his character of Pancho. So I'm super excited. But he will be here next session, so I'm super excited for that. Be like, stay tuned because it's going to be a Christmas special. Anyways, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. But again, we are here to do this episode, so let's just dive in, shall we? Last time on Queers, we ended up, after exiting our little chamber and kind of pushing the enter Felix Dorian to make a change for himself, and before getting into the concert hall to face the Shadow Justice Knight version of himself, the inner space decided to be like, nah, we need to spice things up a little bit. So the space itself began to shift and to change. And the result of all of that was that Phineas and Kyler were separated due to the inner space's change of direction. So we're gonna check in with Kyler in a little bit to see how his part of the adventure went. But Phineas, alongside our lovable AI pit robot thing that we love to death because she is amazing. They ended up be like, hey, there's a sign of life somewhere in here, so we should probably go check that out, right? And so that was a whole thing that happened, which was again really really good. So Phineas and Penelope ended up going upstairs. They entered like one of those old fashioned like a theater Hollywood types like dressing rooms with a big couch and the vanity mirror and a small little box in which the joke was made. It's like, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
And what came out of said box was Pancho, our lovable, Latin janitor, who did not know how he got there, was trying to figure out, he was going to be late for his shift. Him and Phineas hit it off right away. And then they decided to take the surprise route of going under the stage and going through the backstage and under the stage area to surprise the conductor. Upon entering the underside of the stage area in the concert hall, we got a little bit of some information on Poncho, where the fact where is that he doesn't normally do the fighting, and it was due to some pressing from Penelope as well as some sharp, investigative skills from Phineas to realize that there was a sparkly, bedazzled luchador mask hanging out of Poncho's pocket. At first, we didn't know what that was going to entail, but through a Sailor Moon-esque magical girl transformation, Pancho, transformed himself into his alter ego, his hero form of, basically La Olympia, a female muscle mommy luchadora wrestler. So I was just like, whoa! And for anybody who wasn't here, Adolfo did not tell us that that was his character idea and that was his hero form. So colored us surprise in the best way possible.
Yep.
It
That
was
was there was
amazing.
no warm up, no nothing. Was just like surprise.
And shout out to Adolfo because trans visibility is important. Anyways, so upon that transformation, Phineas also getting into hero mode as well. Both Pancho and Phineas entered the concert hall in which they threw down. It was amazing. We had musical instruments. We had Mexican wrestling matches. We had Penelope turn into a cannon for to deal with the hordes of monsters coming. And by the end of this, Pancho and Phineas were able to take down the conductor, which would allow the inner version of Felix to embrace that, part of him that he was trying to keep away. And thus, the inner space began to shift again, which prompted Pancho and Phineas to GTFO because they didn't want to get stuck there. And that is how we ended with our episode last. But there's one other member of this team that we need to figure out what while all that was going on, what was happening with Kyler. So let's find out, shall we? So Kyler, the last thing you remember is the inner space of the of the concert theater kind of shifting and changing places a little bit, and you found yourself separated from Phineas. Upon getting your bearings, you find yourself in another area of the theater, and it seems that you are like now in the like actual backstage area, like where all the supplies and everything is. Basically a giant supply closet, but like think of it like the size of a regular house. So there's just supply closets where all the instruments are stored, all the costuming, and it's like you find yourself in this dimly lit backstage area of the concert hall where all the props and costumes and things like that are.
Yeah, uh, Kyler kind of getting his bearings back together as kind of just a figuring things out. Um, And at first, he's gonna start like looking around and actually uh calling out for Katsune. Just not knowing what has happened here, um, not really understanding he just got separated is gonna start walking around, kind of calling out to him to try to get figure out where he is.
Awesome. So, so Kyler, as you are walking around this backstage area, again, you are calling out for, Kitsune. And as you are walking through this area, you notice, again, a couple of things. You see storage boxes full of instruments, like old costumes of what looks to be performance costuming from like different concerts and ballets and things of that matter. And then you happen to come upon what I love in my types of games, because y'all know this is where we're going with this. And let's just say that both JT here and Chris know my style of gaming very well. I have a lot of heart. But these boys also remember what I like to inject into my games. So you come upon this tiny little marionette theater as just bunch of marionette puppets sitting and kind of just on there of this like little performance stage, kind of just chilling there for a little bit. Y'all know I love me some horror.
Oh, good lord! Like, like that's not creepy at all. Uh, hello? Is anyone around here?
Well, now, what do we have here? And all of a sudden, there is just a giant spotlight that just appears on this little marionette stage. And you start to see the marionettes begin to shake a little bit.
Well, that's definitely very, very creepy. Uh, I'm like, well, hi. I don't know.
You're just like, I don't want to die, but like, I don't want to run away either.
Yeah, I know that wouldn't be good for good game sense.
It's just like, so as you're contemplating this, right? So again, the marionettes begin to shake a little bit and then they begin to stand on up. However, you're a little put off by the marionettes for a variety of reasons. Number one, I mean, it's marionettes coming to life with no one pulling their strings, so that's suspicious. That's weird. In the words of a Miss Immaculate Cardi B. Anywho, but what you notice on these marionettes that kind of throw, and you are conflicted of being scared, but also being like, this is a juxtaposition that I wasn't planning on seeing today, and I'm still trying to process watching this because I'm scared, but also very intrigued. Because as these marionettes begin to stand up, you get to see the full vestiges of the clothing that they're wearing. And while it is creepy to see marionette dolls come alive on their own, the juxtaposition of them being dressed in, what's the best term I can describe it? One of them looks like ruffles and, like cut out V-neck shirts and things like that. You're just like, where have I seen this before? And then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, Kyler, you begin to hear like the droning of what seems to be like a PA speaker system turning on. And you're just like, what is happening? And then you find yourself as the marionettes begin to stand up in these really interesting outfits, like the ruffle for shirts, V-necks, very booty shorts, up across the speakers. you hear it's like, now, darlings, welcome to the marionette ball. Let me see what you are working with. And all of a sudden, you start hearing the ballroom music. It's just like, a la Legendary and the New York like club scene. Paris is burning, and you start to see the marionettes like death drop and do the splits and things like that. This is what I want to see. Bam. It's like, welcome to the marionette Kiki ball, Kyler.
Like,
Like,
Kyler is like equal parts confused and impressed. Just in the sense that, like, thinking about how marionettes work, of how someone's able to manipulate it to do all that. And he's like just watching it, just like I guess kind of sort of enjoying the show, but also is like kind of looking up at where the strings are leading to try to figure out, okay, where is this coming from?
So, after a little brief of an exhibition, so to speak, the marionettes are like death dropping and dipping and doing the twirls and the dips and the splits and all that stuff. The marionettes kind of jump off the stage a little bit. They walk towards you in a non-threatening manner, I should put out there. They're not out here trying to attack you. And
Kyler will still probably like jump back a bit.
yeah, which is very, very fair.
like I get that they're just a bunch of marionette puppets, but at the same time, what the
be like, we got 10 more minutes and then we can start cursing.
Yep.
We're almost there, I promise. But so you jump back a little bit, and the marionettes, they're not phased about jumping back because they're giving you the signs that it's like, yeah, we know we're frightening, but we look fabulous doing it. And so as you kind of jump back, expecting the marionettes to start getting hostile, they kind of are, the music is still going, they're swaying the shoulders and the hips to it, and then they begin to they they literally begin to like catwalk, duck walk all the way towards, an open curtain on the other side of the room.
I am going to follow with enough distance behind in case of anything, but just very curious of what the hell.
So I love it. So you cautiously follow the little marionettes out to the other side of the room. Kyler, I would like you to, I'm gonna have you roll for something for me.
Oh Lord. Okay.
I am going to have you roll something called I love this. It's just like I'm gonna have you roll this custom move called Welcome to the Ball. And I want you to see if you are able to resist the music, or you find yourself swaying to it like in a hypnotic kind of pattern kind of thing. Or you can just embrace it. Just kidding.
Uh-huh.
Chris is like, Mikey, what did you do? And I'm like, everything.
All right. What am I rolling? The 2d6?
Yep.
All right. I don't have anything additional to add to this, so
I know. I'm just kidding. No. All transparency, I would never do anything that does that to my players because I would cry, and they both these guys know it. I would be like,
oh no, that's fine. That's fine.
Now, in a little bit, we'll see what happens.
Rolled a 7.
Okay, so that's partially a success. So you kind of feel yourself, but there's going to be a little bit of a complication. So as you're following the marionettes and you are watching them, catwalk, duck walk, strut their stuff to the other side where this open curtain is. And as the music is continuing to play, you are able to kind of compose yourself a little bit. However, beknownst to you, and you try to consciously stop it as you are walking and watching these little marionettes just like leave it all out on the floor as they are walking. you kind of find yourself swaying a little bit to your shoulders to this, and then you find yourself like doing the motions as well a little bit, and then you stop yourself and you're just like, no, this is creepy, but also get it, get it, get it.
Of course.
Be like, welcome to QUEERZ, guys. Welcome to the ballroom scene.
Right, right.
Oh my goodness. So you are able to compose yourself, but you catch yourself ever so slightly swaying to the groove, and then also, falling in line with the little marionettes, kind of you like working off of their energy that they're giving. But you're able to compose yourself a little bit, but you're still swaying as you get to the end. So as the little marionettes go through the curtain, you kind of just are, the curtain's opened wide enough where you don't have to literally pop your head out to see what's on the other side. You can see that on the other side is something very interesting, given the fact that, hey, I was just in a concert hall, so now why does it look like I am in like a New York nightlife like club? There is a catwalk, there is a DJ stage where this shadowy figure is spinning the ones and twos. You literally, Eddie, listen, I'm gonna be full transparent here. It's like it was the nightclub. If anybody has watched the series Pose, it's that. Welcome to the ballroom. So it is, yeah. You look at it and you're like, why is there a whole New York nightclub in here? And as the marionettes walk through the curtain, you hear over the loudspeaker system, it's just like, welcome, darlings, welcome to the puppet ball. It's like, if stretch your stuff and show us what you got. And then again, of course, the ballroom music starts to play. There is remixes of a certain, Good Girl Gone Bad. There's a couple of remixes from, somebody in the Beehive, like, try not to get copyrighted. But it's just like, literally, it is what happens when you give lots of people and the Renaissance album and they throw all their ballroom mixes into it. So you're just like, what is happening?
Yeah, Kyler's just like, the hell am I? Where? What the hell just happened? And he's just stunned, but also just amazed by watching this all go down, because yeah, he knows he's still in like this weird like universe type thing, but at the same time it's just still just so intriguing.
Oh man, you're just like, what is this? And
What
so
the hell?
it's like, what the heck? So Kyler, you're just like, I know this is probably going to not be the funnest thing, but do you go any further into the puppet ball? You're because you're still at the curtain, kind of.
I think he's gonna try to sneak around to like the side of the curtain to where he's not like going out right onto the catwalk, to where he's like trying to sneak around to get back, as like a tech person in theater would try to sneak out of from behind a curtain to get back down to the seats without being seen.
Love to see it. Love
Just
to
don't
see
touch
it.
the curtains. Don't touch the curtains.
Don't touch.
Right, right.
So I
Quick
won't even
fire
make you
for
roll
me.
because that sounds fun. And using your real life experience, I will like that's good. So you are able, with your knowledge of real life events, because if you have skills, why not put them in the game? But you're able to kind of traverse your way to try to stay out of line of sight of like all the major focusing of this little puppet ball that's going on. And as you are kind of walking through and trying to stay inconspicuous and not be suspicious whatsoever, you continue to watch the scene unfold as the three little marionettes that you were watching and following into this area, they now begin to line up and by one, with a judge's table at the far end of this elevated stage, begin to perform their routine. The crowd is hyping them up. It is getting crazy in a really, really fun way. But then you notice something. As the three little marionettes are kind of done with their routine, as you know, and everyone continues to do up, you notice that the next, individual coming up on the stage is not a marionette. They are actually a human being.
What?
And they are just they look like they are lost. They're like, don't know what to do. The crowd is still hyping them up. This individual, he looks a little perplexed as why he's there, and he's a little nervous. The marionettes begin to chant and to tell him to do his thing, and he the best way I can put it is just like, oh, bless his heart, he tried. So this individual tries, and the best way I can put it, and this is no shade to all my heterosexual friends out here, but it's like the way that he's doing these moves and everything, it just looks like the real life embodiment of unseasoned chicken.
I mean, that could also be me, a homosexual white boy with no rhythm.
Listen, I'm just saying, Chris. Like, I will teach you a thing or two I'll teach you how to dance. I promise. Be like, I will give you the rhythm. Anyways, check out the After Hours podcast for that discussion. No, I apologize. But no, so yeah, this individual is trying their best, bless their heart. They are just now getting booed, tomato, tomato, like just getting booed out the building. And you know what? You're just like, oh, well, that sucks. But then your hero senses begin to kick, because then you start to feel the marionettes grow a little bit more angry and hostile for how bad this individual is doing.
Oh.
And the marionettes begin to boo louder, and then they start to climb the stage.
Oh.
And they begin to start to swarm around this individual. And there is like a lot of them.
I immediately Kyler's like hero instincts kick in, and you know how in like any sort of Sentai they like shoot off camera and then return and the next shot completely transformed. He kind of does one of those like quick transformations.
Heck yes.
Or I forgot. There's actually a phrase for it. After I was watching a couple different documentaries, I don't really remember what it's referred to, but anyway, he kind of does that and hops onto stage to kind of block this random human guy from things, and starts backing up, trying to back him out of the area while kind of holding a defensive stance against these marionettes that have just turned hostile.
Oh man, we love to see it. Um, so, Kyler, you are doing your best to defend this individual and kind of in your hero form, doing the best that you can to uh, fight and to defend. But unfortunately, just like any good RPG or even wrestling, the numbers game will eventually catch up to you. So you start to become overwhelmed. The marionettes begin climbing on you and this individual. You shield this individual as best as you can as this horde continues to come up. And as you are thinking about what to do next, as the space around you and the light begins to grow dimmer and dimmer, as this whole horde begins to become the only thing in your vision that you begin to see, all of a sudden, from inside this little horde of monsters that are trying to get you and this individual, you hear over the loud PA system just a very different voice who says, "Now, baby, that's not how we get down here. Let me show you how we do a ballroom proper." and all of a sudden you start to see teal colored lights begin to pulsate and hit and knock off of these um, these marionettes as they begin climbing off of you. And as you kind of push your way through to see what is happening in front of you, off to a distance, just kicking ass and taking names. Yes, we are past the 30-minute mark, so we can start. Kicking
Fuck
ass.
yeah.
Yeah, kicking ass and taking all the names. You see a I'm going to try to word this carefully because I don't want to offend folks, but you see a female presenting individual. She is very dark complexioned African American. She's got long, thick, blonde braids. She is wearing a very skin tight teal cat suit with white fingerless gloves. And she's got silver earrings kind of pierced up in here, and you just see, literally you just see this bad bitch just like ballrooming her way. And also you combining the ballroom with acrobatics and break dancing to kind of kick her way, and also using some sort of like laser-esque powers to do all of this. um and as you're watching this unfold, this individual makes their way and just effortlessly backflips themselves onto the stage in front of you. And without breaking a sweat, just looks behind you and says, "Now, baby, you okay?"
Uh, yeah, thanks. Uh, what? Where am I?
"Oh, hun, we can talk about that later. Let's get you and this individual somewhere safe. Follow me." And this individual leads you and this, helpless person through the crowd, continuing to kick butt, and ends up, you guys find yourself in a safe space backstage. The marionettes are running around trying to find you guys, but as of right now, you guys are safe. They haven't noticed you, and you're in a little space where it's very inconspicuous, where they would have to look really, really hard to find you. So, for the meantime, the three of you are safe. So, as you are catching your breath, this tealed, skin tight, cat suited individual comes up to you and just says, "Ah, now, why don't you tell me how you found yourself here? Because not every day that you find someone in these parts."
To be honest, I don't even know how. Me and my companion were investigating this world. Um, it was like in a concert hall when the world kind of just shifted, and I ended up here, and I don't even know where he is. And well, that's that.
Oh, interesting. Kyler, this is Mikey asking this question.
Yeah,
Are still currently in your hero form, correct?
yeah.
Okay. Good to know, because this definitely helps out with this individual. So as
Cool.
as Kyler, as you're saying this to this, individual, the other person is kind of just passed out, like resting, sleeping at this point. This individual in the teal cat suit and the white fingerless gloves is just listening intently and says, "Ooh, it sounds like that you experienced a shift in the inner space. Wow, quite interesting. And I wouldn't say not bad for a first time out, I would say."
Uh, yeah. I, I. Wait, you. So we're still in the. Well, okay. It's kind of obvious we're in the inner space. But actually, I'm like, wait, how do you? I guess a question to you, Mikey. The creatures in like and everyone that I meet in the inner space, do they know that it's the inner space? Like, would they call it that?
Well, here's the interesting part, right? So, this would be the inner space because there's markings. Because, of course, again, a ballroom, a kiki ballroom with faceless marionettes, that wouldn't be something that the real world would happen. And given everything that has transpired and you have experienced with Phineas, that you experience with Kitsune, you're just like, I could probably, you could tell that you're probably still in the inner space. The real question becomes is number one, how did this individual sleeping end up here? And then number two, how does the person you're talking to know this?
Yeah, like wait, how? Kind of gets a little bit of a look around and goes, "How do you know about the inner space?"
Oh, baby, it's quite simple actually. And it's like, oh, it. Hang on, let me make sure. Let me just show you. And so this individual kind of just pushes their hand to kind of push the braids back behind them, begins to again do a small ballroom routine that involves a little bit of duck walking, some twirls. And then as they go and do a death drop, like this magical energy begins to transform. And yeah, so this person in the cat suit now is wearing a hero mask in the same color scheme. It is now bedazzled out in a teal and silver ensemble. Very, very like if you took pieces of a disco ball and put it on an outfit, and it is that sparkly. And she ends up doing. She is now just like she ends up finishing her magical girl transformation, so to speak. And she turns
Hmm.
to you and just says, "Cause baby, I'm a hero too."
Well, I guess I'm glad we're in good company.
Now, I know Mother said there were some rookies running around the inner space, and I have to say, I'm impressed with what I saw. You didn't hesitate to jump into action, and I'm glad that I was able to find you in the right time.
Hot. Well, thank you. I just I guess that's just in my nature. That's just what I'm gonna do. But I guess what I is this still connected to the inner space we were in? I was in previously. Um it is this connected to it at all, or
Hmm. Well, it requires a long explanation, but the short version of it is that yes, the inner space in general is a whole entire different other realm, so to speak.
Mhm.
The desires and the twisted versions of the truth begin to manifest themselves in individual. And think of each of these places in the inner space as its own little pocket dimension. The inner space itself is basically a large scale version, and the individuals afflicted with the, you know, ignorance and things like that, it begins to shape around their desires and their reality. I mean, the concert hall, this nightclub, it's just depends on the individual.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well, any chance you can help me find my companion, the other rookie you mentioned?
Oh, that's quite easy. And actually, I think you know what? I can help you back because it seems that your friend that you were here with, it seems he's also made a new friend according to my readings.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I think you would be best. Now, let me see. And this individual kind of just like flips their wrist, and out comes like a holographic projection. And you see this individual begin to flip it to like a PowerPoint slideshow through it, and just, Now, it seems that your friend, eh, your partner in crime, if you will, and this new person that he is with, it seems that they are on their way out back to the real world, so I might as well send you in that direction too.
I appreciate that. Wait, but send me. What about you?
Oh, baby, don't worry. I can find my way back to the real world anytime. But my goal right now is to get this person out of here. Been very strange lately watching individuals who aren't affected by ignorance somehow manage to find their way into, this inner space. So very, very perplexing, and that something that I'm gonna have to look into, as well as with the other members as well.
Uh, okay. Uh, as long as you'll be safe. Thank you.
Now, honey, I have lived life long enough, and there is nothing, whether it be these little marionettes, actual people, there is nothing that can take Miss Willie down. And she kind of snaps her fingers as she says this.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh, where are my manners? Of course, I mean, you just heard my name, but my name is Miss Willie. It's nice to meet you.
So, and I start to think of, oh, I guess in this form, I'm KJ the Brave. But you could call me Kyler.
KJ the Brave, I love that, and I will call you as such. And yeah, maybe if I see you in the real world, okay, I will call you by your government name. Now, if you run through that curtain right there, it will take you right back to the real world, and you should be meeting up with your friend shortly. Oh, but before I forget, if you would like to chat further, and out from the slit of like her catsuit from the cleavage area, she pulls out a little paper and she gives it to you, and it is a little bit, and it is a business card where it says Miss Willie Ninja Dance Studio. And she says,
Oh,
if you're looking to talk, or maybe I can help you with your rhythm game, hon, just stop by my studio sometime.
appreciate it. I I think I'll do that. Um, I don't have a card on me, but otherwise you could. My friend runs a food truck that I usually help out with, so you could come and find us sometime too.
Oh, absolutely. I might take you up on that offer. Now, go ahead and meet up with your friend, hon. I'm pretty sure he's worried up with you. He's worried about you.
Sounds good to me.
And so, Kyler, as you are making your way to the point that Willie has mentioned to you, you kind of make your way through the precipice of the curtain. And the last thing you hear as you enter through the curtain and says, he kind of cute. I was like, I gotta make sure Teddy don't get a hold of him though. And that is the last thing you hear as as you walk through the curtain. You're just like, wait, what? And then you're just exiting out.
Wait, who's
Yeah, who's Teddy? uh, and as you walk through the curtain, Kyler, you find yourself back in the back alley that you and Phineas were at when you found your way back. You found your way back into the inner space. And as you kind of stumble out the quote unquote like door behind you, the shimmering light kind of fades and dissipates a little bit. And as you look around, you find yourself back in the alleyway. And as you kind of look around to get your bearings, you find yourself back in the real world. And as you kind of turn to see where everything is, at the same time, Kyler, you see Phineas coming out of his own shimmering door. Um, and yeah, you turn and you see Phineas coming out of his own shimmering door that dissipates as soon as he exits. But he's by himself now. So yeah, so I will let you two take it away.
You're well. At least you're alive.
you too? Uh, I don't know what. Apparently, we experienced a shift.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can call it that.
Yeah.
What? You okay?
Yeah. I'm a little confused about where I ended up, but I'm okay. How about you? How? How did things go?
Good. Uh, we ended up. Oh, yeah, we. So I met another potential hero.
Me too.
Really? What did they look like?
Oh, this tall, beautiful woman. Um, yeah, but she apparently is much more experienced than us. Like, she knows a lot more about these kind of spaces and seemed a lot more comfortable with that inner space that I was in than you'd expect. So it sounds like someone we might need. We could probably call on for some more help. I got her card. She owns a dance studio, which now that I think of it, kind of makes sense with where we were at.
Where? Wait, you weren't in a concert hall?
No, it was like more like a a ballroom, and not like you think of people like waltzing dance ballroom, but uh the oh the like twirls and death drops kind of ballroom.
That sounds a lot more exciting than what I had to go through.
Yeah, but it was all marionettes.
Ma- Oh no! Like
And
this sudden realization of just even the word marionettes, like partially gives Lockwood like this borderline PTSD flashback, and I'm just like, oh, marionettes. Why
I
is it
mean,
always marionettes?
it seemed oh, tell me about it, but it seemed fine at first, and then this human-looking person got on stage and kind of bombed, and then they all started attacking them, and I got up to defend, and then she showed up and saved both of us, and she helped me. She helped me get out of there, and she said she was going to take care of the other person, and yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I ended up running into a female hero as well.
Oh,
That's very interesting. I wonder if
yeah.
they're. No, that couldn't be.
No, I doubt it.
I'm pretty for sure not because my hero before they changed was a Hispanic male janitor.
Oh. No,
Yeah, that's
this
kind of what I said too. Like in
this
that precise order.
this person. No, the person I met was female through and through.
Interesting.
So, but who was this person that you've met? A janitor?
Yeah. Uh that was that I would say that wasn't even the weirdest part to the entire thing. Um oh, we really need to get a handle on these personal space things because he showed up. It it's like watching one of those like old movies where the dancer comes out of a cake. He just like popped out of this box, like mop and all, and was like pretty much looked at me and proceeded to be like, "Senor, I need to do the moving or the cleaning. Can you please move?" And I was like, "Uh, yeah, sure. You know where you're at, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And one thing led to another, and then there was a lucha mask, and uh, it that then all of a sudden he transformed into a she, and damn was she ripped. Nonetheless, I check. Okay, this one is. I mean, I thought the carnival one was kind of crazy, but like I can understand popping. Apparently, when we find new people, they just pop out of boxes. Because that's how I got introduced to the group. Was I actually kind of stumbled out of a box as well? Weird. Okay. So just to know, if you ever see somebody rolling out of a box, be suspicious. Uh yeah, a little bit. That was This girl kicked a bucket load of ass though. Like I I don't think I've seen moves like that. Like my homie doesn't even move like that, and he's like damn near a pro MMA style fighter. Like this was insane. But yeah, so we ended up helping uh, defeat the knight, which was good, and yeah, now he's gonna sort some stuff out, and now I gotta kind of sort some stuff out.
Yeah. Uh, uh, okay. Well, I I guess we might have some new allies.
So it seems.
We like Gesundheit.
Love, just to let you know, everybody on the internet just heard that
And said Gesundheit.
and said Gesundheit in the same sentence. Oh,
Let's
bless
see.
you again.
uh, I love it
I
so
would
much.
I would say that she's allergic to the bullshit, but I'm not bullshitting right now. So
Not yet, at least.
not yet, at least.
Oh my goodness, I love this so freaking much. Oh man. But yeah, so both of you have kind of exchanged the information. So I mean, where would you guys like to go? I mean, there's a couple of different options. You can go back to the school, you can head home to kind of just decompress a little bit. Like there are options.
I feel like I need shawarma.
Shawarma sounds good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go get food. If you want to follow me, I'm all for it.
I could go for some food.
Heck yeah. So the two of you decide that you are going to go get food. And yeah, so Kyler, you know, Phineas mentioned, food and shawarma, and you think about, hold up, wait a minute. I was like, you know that. I mean, you do have a friend with the food truck who's always making you taste these new inventions too, so his food dishes, if you will. So that you're just like, maybe you know what?
Actually,
Yes.
I know shawarma sounds good, but maybe I can introduce you to a friend of mine, who I help out with his food truck all the time.
You had me sold at food truck.
Okay then.
Let's go.
Let's head over there then.
So, Kyler, you know that because at this point, because Q won't shut up about it. No, we love Q in this household. We love all our anchor characters in this household. You know that Q is currently stationed at the park today, and he is going to be there for a little bit. And you check your phone to see what time it is, and sure enough, you punch in the directions as you are walking. You kind of give Phineas the lowdown on Q, what they do for a living. You may or may not have shared your recent experience of fighting grandmas and aunties and other people at the food market, fighting over some imported durian that was important for Q to get for his dish. It was fantastic. So you guys make your way to the park, and of course, Q, you've seen this 1,000 times, but for you, Phineas, you see this very bodacious bohemian style, very colorful. It's like what happens if you take like the VW Surfer van, but also put it into a food truck. So it's very vibrant, very colorful, very be like, what's up kind of vibes. And you see a you see an individual like working the food truck. You see an, very androgynous, if you will, um serving orders. And you notice that on the board that lists the menu, there's of course a couple of items. And I don't have to make you roll for this because thanks to your friendship with Miguel and all the cultures that come with spending almost every Sunday at his house with Latin family dinners and all that good stuff. Miguel has taught you about the wonders of the world, and plus your own travels as well has allowed you to experience things. And you find yourself fascinated that on the menu, Q is infusing a lot of Thai, like traditional Thai dishes, but with a little bit of modern flavor and spice, a little bit. So it's very DIY, experimental food kitchen gastronology science kind of thing, but it is mostly main dish Thai. And of course, Kyler, to your chagrin, and you're like, oh yes, he's serving it today, is his special like bao burritos kind of thing, where it is like the traditional Thai noodles and the rice and everything, but in the form of a burrito, and that is the special for today. So, Phineas, you're just looking at this menu and you're just like, oh my god, I think I died and went to heaven.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm saying that right now. Like, I'm just sitting here going, oh, God, Thai food sounds good. Oh, bao burrito. Oh, I'm so
He's
hungry.
he's good at what he does.
Oh man. So, as you guys are in line, with food, Q is taking orders and also like making sure all the fryers and everything in the truck are going. And as things begin to slow down and you two end up walking to the front, Q turns around, it's like, welcome to. Oh, hi, Kyler. Hang on a sec. And kind of puts on like the be back in like 15 minutes sign. It's just like, don't worry, folks. I'm just going to take a break real quick, but please enjoy your food. And I will be right back for anyone who wants seconds, thirds, or even new orders. And everyone's like, okay, and they're kind of just chilling. So Q comes out of the food truck and they are, in their apron. They kind of have the, towel wrapped around their neck. It's like, whew, the lunch rush here is crazy. It was a very good idea. And I'm very happy that the park lets me park here, especially because the office buildings are right there. So a lot of people are coming out for the lunch rush for lunch break. So it's very, very nice. Oh, I see that you have a new friend with you, Kyler. And Q sticks out their hand to you, Phineas. Is like, it's like, the name is Quinn, but you can call me Q for short. Pleasure to meet you.
Phineas goes to give him what I can only assume is a handshake.
Mm-hmm. So,
Trying to dab him up or anything.
so Q shakes your hand and is like, nice to meet you, Phineas. You a friend of Kyler here?
Yeah, actually, we haven't really known each other for that long, but uh, one day he just decided he was gonna. Actually, it was all the food.
Hey, you know what? A friend of Kyler's is a friend of mine, especially if you're going to come to my food truck and buy some food here. And actually, what? And just because I appreciate the business and looks at you, ooh, Kyler, and says, "Is I got something special for you too." And Q kind of runs to the back of the food truck and then comes out with like these two styrofoam boxes and just says, these just came fresh out of the oven. They're a new dish that I am trying too. So you are the two that get to taste this exclusive item first. So please enjoy.
Oh boy, food guinea pigs. I'm down.
It's it's a perk.
So as Q kind of walks you over to the table and you guys open up the boxes, inside you find kind of Well, as soon as you open the box, your senses of smell is enthralled and enticed by the odor coming from the inside. So inside you have kind of like a pate sort of noodles, and with the accoutrements of like the pork or chicken, depending if y'all don't like the beef, or tofu in case any of your characters are vegetarian. I'm just putting it out there. I didn't ask these preferences, but these are the things I think about when it comes to my games. But whatever your preferred meat choice is, you notice that the aroma is just very heavenly. And the color of the noodles are a little bit interesting because they are kind of like this greenish color instead of the very typical kind of like brownish yellow that most noodles are. Um, and they are, at the bottom and on top are adorned like these meat products, some vegetables, and a little bit of, different kind of like accents, things like that. And but the aroma is very sweet smelling too, as you open this box. And as you two are like the anime cartoony version of just mouth wide open, drooling all over the place, Q goes, "This is my special take on, some home style Thai noodles, but instead of using flour as the base, I've actually been working on, and this is the first to try it, I've been substituting the flour for a sea plant base. So this is a mixture of seaweed and other natural plants that come from the ocean, mixed in to create this noodle base, and then of course the meat and the soy sauce and all that good stuff. And the sweet aroma that you are smelling is I have found a way to mix the oils of the noodles and kind of put a little bit of sugar in it, so when they mix together kind of creates this very sweet aroma as well. Very unorthodox, but hey, you know if people enjoy it, why not? So bon appetit.
Nice. Like busting out the chopsticks.
I
Like,
told ya.
dang. Okay. And like just starts to not quite shovel, but like with great urgency starts to eat. Like not even worried about taste. I figure if it smells good, it's gonna taste good.
Oh yeah. So Phineas, as soon as you take a bite, your taste buds just go on a full-on culinary adventure. It's just so sweet tasting, and so the you're trying to figure out how someone is able to mix like your traditional like spices with the sweet aroma that also has a kind of sweet nectary taste to it. And as soon as you take a bite, you're just like, I need to have more, and you start to you start to not hork it down, but you're just like, this is so heavenly. You start crying because of how amazing it is. I'm just kidding. Just like, this is the best thing ever. Kyler, you on the other hand, you're just like, this is also enjoyable, but because this is not the first time you've been a guinea pig for Q, you're just like, I know if at least if I'm going to visit Q and he has something new on the menu 9 out of 10 times, I'm going to end up eating good today. There was that one time though, it didn't work out very well, and Q continues to apologize for it this day. It was like 9 out of 10 times, 90% is not bad.
Mm.
It's like, listen, how was I supposed to know that tuna was not going to be the right fit in that dish?
That's true. That's a sneaky ingredient.
Mm-hmm. So, as the two of you kind of eat your meal and you finish it, I'm just imagining, well, specifically you, Phineas, is like the cartoon animator is just like, I'm stuffed. It's just like the
I
sphere.
I typically if I get real stuffed, especially with Asian food, I have that very much like laid back, like
Yeah.
one arm just relaxed
Yes.
and the other one's just like up on the side of my chair or something, and I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm gonna die, but that's so fucking good. Yeah, that's pretty much how I be right now.
Absolutely. So as you are kind of coming to, Q puts on the table a small cup of what looks to be some sort of is like, well, this is my own concoction, but this is essentially a mix. This is a fusion of like green tea and oolong tea, but I've also mixed it with a couple of different natural herbs to help settle your stomach so you don't feel so bloated afterwards. And so you drink it, and then Phineas, you feel, I mean, your mind knows that you're full, but the physical reaction to your body as soon as you drink this concoction of oolong tea and green tea with some added herbs into it, you start to feel a little bit more light. This is like not to enough where you're going to eat a whole nother plate of food, but you feel less bloated and less food coma ready to take a nap. So you feel re-energized real quick.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you two like it. Oh, and I should have said this at the very beginning, but this is on the house, free of charge.
Nice, thank you.
Hmm. Well, then, since you two liked it, I think I might start serving it next week. I just got to make sure I have enough ingredients for the week, which I could do that later. Oh, um, but before I forget, uh, I still got a little bit of time. So, Kyler, where did you and Phineas meet? How did you guys like link up, hook up? Like, what's tea?
Oh, we met. God damn you for putting me on the spot.
Don't tell me. And Q is just thinking, it's just like, did y'all two meet? And kind of looks around quietly. It's just like, did y'all two meet at those parties?
At part. What?
Oh yeah, the secret underground like rave parties that have been kind of going on around Chrysalis Bay. I know Kyler likes to go to those ever so often. I just figured that's where you meet. At least those are all. That's at least 9 out of 10 times where I guess, and I'm right on the money on where Kyler meets his new friends. But
I mean,
Well, yes, yes. You be right again. Yeah. He actually uh was scoping it out to potentially perform at it. So he and since I've been there a lot, I was showing him around, and so we just became friends from that mutual interest. So yeah.
oh, okay. So you are a bit of a performer, Phineas.
yeah, yeah,
I
you
love
could
that.
say that. I just kind of knocking off the rust, if you will. I figured I'd be. I've been here for a little bit in Chrysalis Bay, but it. I didn't know that the rave scene was so huge here, and it actually my buddy Miguel ended up telling me about it, and I wanted to see uh, what all the talk was about, if you will. And I figured, why not? Because like, if I could get a venue like this, like I spin a lot of EDM music, and so this is kind of one of those like perfect moments. And ran into Kyler, and the rest just kind of wrote itself, if you will. Like we actually ran into each other once after that at a that carnival that they did. God, oh Lord,
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a weird experience. I mean,
it
me
was
and
like a
Kyle.
it was like a bad hangover when I got done with it, and I'm pretty for sure it wasn't his fault. So don't even worry about that.
No, Kyler's a stand-up guy. I trust him fully with my life. Yeah, it was a weird experience because me and Kyler were hanging out. We were playing games. We went to go see the circus show. Kind of goes fuzzy after that, and then I woke up in some sort of like weird dilapidated fun house, and there wasn't just me, there was a whole bunch of people. It was really weird. It was a weird experience. I mean, physically I was fine because I went to the doctor afterwards to make sure everything was good and everything's okay. But yeah, um it was a weird experience, and it was crazy that it was a multiple person experience. But yeah, you know what though? It was one of those things that happened. But you know what? Me and Kyler can have a laugh about it now. So I mean, it was definitely an experience for sure.
And like, wait, they didn't like this. Wasn't like another underground rave, was it?
You know, I don't think so. That's what I thought it was at first, but the organizers of, well, as funny as it is, these organizers of these underground raves, as even though they're underground, they still, follow the law, make sure everything is copacetic, everything is up to code, and they said they didn't do anything in regards to the carnival, a couple months, like 2 months back. So, yeah, it was. I'm wondering if it was one of those like weird pop up events people are trying to do. It was interesting for sure.
Missed opportunity.
But yeah, I mean, it was very weird though because as I was coming to, and I think it was because of this shared hallucination that I had with the many people that were there. I could have sworn I saw a pirate ship fly into the sky, but I think I kind of just brushed that off as not necessarily being all there as I was coming to, and whatever this weird shared experience was. But yeah, it's one of those things that stuck out to me.
You see,
Yeah, it
you
was
see me look over at Kyler.
a cloudy day, and you know how sometimes in those states of mind you might see shapes in the clouds and such. So I've been telling him that's all he saw.
Dang, I need to get whatever you had at that carnival. God
Well, I mean,
damn,
if it
I haven't seen spectral ships like that in like a hot minute.
well, I mean, technically I wasn't on anything, but I wonder if, I don't know if it was the hot dog or whatever I drank at the carnival that got spiked with stuff. But again, it was not just me; it was multiple people. But anyways, I mean, I am always looking for the most interesting and weirdest food ingredients. But if I, you know, if I have word on the more, how do we put this, the more natural remedies and the stuff I could cover, I will let you know for sure. Because yeah, I've also may or may not have, let's just put it this way, certain ingredients when put together create an aphrodisiac effect, and I may have had that happen to me once or 10 times. So yeah, if I find any combinations of food and ingredients that kind of create that effect, I will also let you know. And Q kind of pulls out of his apron the little business card. It's just like, you can just hit me up, or since you're friends with Kyler, I could probably, if you two are together, I could probably come find you anyways, especially since this dude is always at my house every other day at least.
Really looking over, kind of like giving that like sly side eye to Kyler.
I
Every other day, huh?
I promise you it is nothing like that. Well, at least not yet anyways, but you know, let me just put it this way. I'm not going to say no, but at the same time, though, I'm not one to push either. I was just like, me and Kyler are really good friends right now, and should it go that way, then you know what, cool. But I'm also okay and copacetic with us just staying friends. We kind of just take it day by day and see what happens. But no, he crashes at my house, and I crash at his sometimes. We've known each other forever.
Nice. I love a good lore dump.
Well,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, Kyler's a stand-up guy, and honestly, I'm really happy that he's in my life because had it not been for him, this whole entire food truck thing I don't think would really exist. He's kind of pushed me in the direction that I wanted to go to, and he's been my number one, support system here. And honestly, he's, well, yeah, I can call it because he's my best friend. And honestly, he's helped me a lot, especially, me coming over here being very new to Chrysalis Bay about a year ago, especially, with the culture differences, given the fact that, I'm originally from, Thailand, and I came over here for culinary school. And you know what? It's kind of turned into this little adventure with this food truck. I mean, I still only have a class left if I really wanted to graduate from culinary school, but I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break from that right now, exploring this food truck idea, and it seems to be working out pretty well so far. So I'm hoping that I can be a pioneer in the culinary aspect of creating a fine dining experience, but making it affordable and from a food truck so the every person in their family can enjoy it and not have to pay ridiculous prices for food that is good looking but has no heart to it, if that makes any sense.
100%. Like that's the only way that food tastes good is when somebody pours their everything into it.
100%. And yeah, again, if it wasn't for Kyler, I don't know if I would be here where I am now. But yeah, he definitely helped me out, get over the initial culture shock. And he's been my rock ever since. So Kyler, Phineas, you too. You both see Q kind of get a little sentimental a little bit, but not in a, oh, I'm about to cry kind of way. But you can tell from his expressions and the way that he is speaking of Kyler, there is such a warmth behind his voice and the tone and the words that he is saying that you feel and you can kind of resonate with that warm feeling too. It comes from what Q is speaking of comes from a very genuine place of, love and camaraderie and just it feels good. And like the food and the tea that you guys just consumed, you feel that same warmth coming and radiating through you too, as Q is kind of, for all in better terms, like literally just gushing over Kyler and how important he is. But Q kind of recognizes this and it's like, I think I can save the mushy stuff for another time. In fact, looks at his watch. I should probably get back. My 15 minutes are almost up. So, see you later back at the house, Kyler.
Yeah, definitely. I'll see you there.
Cool. I will see you later. I should be home in time. I'm not expecting to stay out late like I was the other night. So I will see you shortly. And you two enjoy the rest of your time. And Phineas, it was a pleasure to meet you. Again, a friend of Kyler's is a friend of mine. So feel free to stop by anytime. And instead of giving you a handshake, he gives you a quick hug. It's like, I left your friend. It's like, Kyler, you know how to pick good friends. And then goes back to the food truck.
I apparently am a huggable guy.
Yeah, I would say so.
That happens a lot. Like Chrysalis Bay is filled with huggers.
You are very correct on that. But see why I wanted to make sure I had a chance to for y'all to meet him
Yeah, it's
besides the food.
the food is a great bonus. Like it's good to have people like that.
Yeah.
So, as you guys are kind of throwing away your trash and you kind of are just walking through the park, Phineas, you get a text message from a certain person. And as you look at your phone, you see that it is a text message from Miguel, who, sends a text message and it's just like, hey, I know it's kind of last minute, but I wanted to know if you wanted to come over and hang out for a little bit. Question mark, winky face, like tongue out emoji.
Uh, typing back, yeah, sure. I just ended up getting some food though, so we're gonna have to keep it low on the intake. LOL.
The three dot bubbles appear, and then you get the reply back saying it's like, it's all good. I'm currently sparring right now, so you could just watch me work out.
I'll be over in about 10.
Alrighty, see you then. Like out emoji.
Well, you have your friend, and apparently mine on cue ended up, ha ha ha, not cue. Oh, that's going to be a fun one.
But bum.
Said, I will see you later. Have
Yes.
a safe and fun night
Yes, you too.
later. And I start, I guess, walking in a general direction.
You're just like, where am I?
Typing in for an Uber. I'm like, wait, where the fuck am I? What the? Oh my
So
god! I've been here for like 6 years and I still don't know where the hell I'm going. Ugh.
so Phineas, you end up finding an Uber, and the Uber takes you to, Miguel's house. And as you approach and you hop out of the Uber and you start walking up the driveway, you already know when it's go time for him. It is go time. The garage door is open. Inside is the very familiar sight of the home gym with the punching bag and the weight machines and what looks to be a small DIY kind of like MMA style training gym inside a garage. Um, you have like the bands attached to the door. You have again the big punching bag and the speed bag, as well as like a small like weight machine. And as you're walking up, you see you see Miguel just doing the speed bag punch. Well, I called you over because not only did I want you to hold his punching bag for me, but remember our last chat how I was telling you about like the news reports of these like superheroes kind of like around the town and things like that?
Yeah, as I go to grab the sides of the bag to kind of brace.
So I've been doing a little bit more research into them, and I think as he's like punching, the punching bag you're holding, it's like I've come to the conclusion that I think we have some of those heroes here in Chrysalis Bay.
How and like trying to like kind of keep up with the like how I'm going to say this and like bracing for punches was kind of it's kind of like a how many people do you think there is?
Well, I mean, based on my preliminary searches, given the fact that I I mean, research is crazy out here, right? The people that you meet, thankfully I have some official access thanks to, the newspaper, but at the same time I have to do my own research because they can only do so not like weird non-credible sources on the internet. The internet's a very interesting place. A lot of weirdos out there, but also some really really fun people too.
Because
Ah,
we all know what the internet's for.
yes, the internet is for, can't say it, but Avenue Q definitely said it the best. Anyways, I love this group so much. Y'all get my references. It's amazing. Anywho, but no. So based on my conclusions, I can't put my finger on it. I can't give like a final, like super 100% finite number, but I've at least heard that there might be a couple, but ones that keep popping up all over the place seems to be revolving around a certain three. Um, Apparently, these three include, well, technically, there's four. Um, Apparently, there's one that is like a Batman esque type of figure, which is very interesting. I was just like, I hope he doesn't have a tragic backstory. It's kind of crazy. Um, I've also heard reports of like a literal luchadora superhero, which is kind of great because that's different. Um, but the two that always come up in conversation is supposedly there is like a spectral ship, so there people are speculating there's like a pirate superhero running around somewhere, and then the one that I told you about and seems to be coinciding with some other sightings people are having is this Kitsune Man, as what? Well, at least my little brother said it as I was knocked out after the whole mall incident. Um, but apparently he's up in a lot of conversation, and so it was because of that incident at the mall that that and kind of sparked me to do this investigation. And it'd be kind of interesting if Chrysalis Bay has like heroes like in the comic books, which is crazy to say, but I mean, they seem to be doing good work. I haven't really heard anything too crazy about them, but honestly, at least Kitsune Man is my. I have 100. He has 100. They have 100% backing from me, especially because they saved me and they kept my little brother safe during that whole mall incident.
That's going to be insane. So, a thriving metropolis on an island, and now we've got superheroes. This is like the perfect backstory for a new Power Rangers show.
Hey, I mean, you know what? Uh we can file it off. We can type it up. We can send it to the networks and see what happens. But you know what? I think that might be something fun. As he chuckles, Miguel kind of takes the gloves off a little bit and then sits on the couch that's there and just says, "Man, it's kind of crazy. I mean, superheroes are always cool. We always talk about them, but like in the capacity of the comics and the movies and the TV shows and the video games and all the fun stuff. But yeah, never thought there would be heroes in Chrysalis Bay, which is very interesting."
Like that's absolutely crazy. Like I don't even know if I could wrap my head around that. The sheer fact that there is that much action that's here that warrants the need for superheroes.
Yeah, that's also the most interesting thing too about that. I was like, I wonder why they're here in Chrysalis Bay. I still haven't come up with too much information on that, but you know, yeah, I would love to interview one of these heroes and get their perspective of things. And Miguel kind of goes quiet for a little bit, Phineas, and you kind of see him contemplative in thought for a little bit. And then after a few moments of silence, Miguel kind of breaks that, turns to you and asks, I know I've asked this question before, and it's mostly in jest, but I'm wondering, I mean, if you were one of these superheroes, you know, what would be your origin story? Why do you fight the good fight?
Well, God, fighting the I guess like I kind of sort of always have envisioned myself kind of like a like I love Wolverine and Captain America and stuff like that. And so like it'd be like a mixture of the two of them. Like this like feral like short stack of a human that has like the morals of an honorific fighter.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's weird. Like although wait, hang on. As he stops for a couple seconds and kind of did you just say that there's somebody with a spectral ship?
Yeah, right. That's the most interesting one. I was like, there's literally a pirate superhero, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of that idea kind of intrigues me, and I find it very interesting. Now,
Okay,
of course, I would like to interview the pirate superhero who has a spectral ship, but my
like
ma- yeah,
a like a ship, like
like
flying through the air.
a full galleon, like old timey pirate ship. It is wild, but and he takes the time to kind of pull out a laptop from a bag and opens it up and logs in and kind of turns it around. You see on this laptop, Phineas, you see that on Miguel's like homepage is literally just like files and files of different things like named like naming conventions of just like Chrysalis Bay and leads on Kitsune Man and Pirate Adventure question mark, just like a whole file. And upon looking, him showing you things about the spectral ship, you notice that Miguel has gotten quite a few different files on and you can put two and two together of Kyler, you know, and just all the other people that you have encountered so far in terms of superhero ness. And so internally, externally, you're listening to me, Miguel talk about all this, and talk about the spectral ship and more things he learned about Kitsune Man, things like that. And internally, Phineas, how does Phineas internally feel about all this that Miguel is telling him right now?
It is very concerning and confusing at the same time. Give me a couple of seconds. I know that we're live right now. I think my pups may have gotten into something.
Uh-oh.
Just double checking. So if you need to hop over to Kyler, I'll be back.
All right. So we're going to come back for that answer in a little bit. So, Kyler, we come back to you. So we will go back in time for Phineas in a little bit. But, Kyler, as you are kind of heading to Q's house, you're kind of in a contemplative state, kind of going over everything that has happened so far in this whole entire adventure. So, Kyler, how does your internal monologue go right now? How are you feeling? What are you thinking about? Like, how are you decompressing right now as you walk to Q's?
I think Kyler is just replaying everything over in his head. Excuse me, sorry. Ooh, sorry. Everything just hit at once.
See, and you thought that you were going to have technical difficulties today. It wasn't you, it's us.
I'm not
We
having
were
I'm not having technical difficulties. I'm having personal difficulties.
Yeah, that is a
IRL difficulties where it's not your computer, but Bati.exe is not working properly.
Yep. I think Kyler is just replaying the past couple days back in his head, everything that he is discovering, everything that he's learning, just trying to put all the pieces together. Because things are starting to get a little bit crazy now. It feels like just with balancing everything out. Obviously, they're getting a little bit more noticed, and it's becoming a bit more what's going to happen if people find out who we are, but also wanting to continue to do this work to help people and such like that. He's thinking about back at that ballroom and all those creepy marionettes and what the hell all that was. Yeah, it's a lot of his internal thoughts and monologuing right now is just trying to make sense of everything right now, because while he's going through everything right now, it's still stuff that he's trying to even just figure out and rationalize even.
Yeah, I mean, you, Kyler, come to an understanding again as you're still trying to balance out and figure out, what all this hero stuff is, right? And so you are contemplating trying to figure out and processing everything. And it is within this thought that you find yourself at, the doorstep of Q. You already know that Q love him to death, but man can be scatterbrained sometimes. Like they can be very, very scatterbrained. And so you just turn the doorknob and you're just like, yep, he doesn't lock his door like always. And you just open the door and walk in. As you walk in, it is a very nice and quaint little, space. Again, you are very used to seeing this. Living room's a little bit cleaner than last time you left it, but that's because Q doesn't have a whole bunch of cooking books and different notebooks all over the place this time. Everything's actually stacked up on the shelf like it is. And you see Q in his natural habitat over the stove, testing some new things in the kitchen. As not even breaking concentration as you go through the door, not even breaking eye contact with what he's doing on the stove. Uh, Q's just goes, is like, well, it's like, welcome home, Kyler. I'm glad that you made it home in one piece. How was your day, honey? As he's just being very, very jokingly and just very like non-serious about that. It's just like, honey, I'm home, kind of vibe. He's like, Kyler, you got some splaining to do.
Yeah. Like Kyler just goes, it it's been a long day. It just a lot going on, running around the city. So, uh, I'm just ready to relax.
Wow, it sounds quite serious. Hang on a sec.
Hmm.
And you see Kyler kind of put the stove onto his simmer and then, walk on over, pulls you to the couch and it's like, alrighty, it sounds you've had a day, so lay it on me. Hit me. What's on your mind?
D- Uh, is it just me, or has things gotten a little bit more chaotic around town than usual?
Well, I mean, I know there's been a lot of. I know Chrysalis Bay, at least parts of it, are in the middle of I guess, this modernization product, and plan and all that stuff, like modernizing certain areas and making it more of a metropolis. But I don't think that's what you're referring to. Are you referring to maybe the stuff related to when we were at the carnival, possibly?
D- Kinda, I guess. Like, it's
Hmm.
just weird things like that, but just also just attitudes around people around here.
Well, what specifically do you mean? Like, are people giving you a hard time? Like, just in general? Like, what are we talking about?
Just in general. Like, I feel like I don't know, there are just some people around town that that we've seen and known for a while who have just kind of changed.
Well, I mean, I think I know where you're coming from. And again, I apologize if this is way off base, but I mean, remember when we were remember when we were in middle school together and it was me, you, and at that time our other friend Malcolm.
Uh, yeah, oh yeah, definitely remember that.
Well, remember the three of us were as thick as thieves, and throughout middle school, the three of us were inseparable. I remember you coming to my house, you know, or at least all that good stuff. At least while I was here, like me and you and Malcolm were inseparable, and then my we were like inseparable, and we were best of friends. And then, do you remember? Do you remember what I told you? When I found out that my parents were moving us back to Thailand, so they had to go take care of some family business, and the three of us weren't going to be able to spend some time together.
Yeah, yeah.
I always, yep, I'm glad you remember. So, I told you that. No, I'm just kidding. It's like,
God,
what?
Zen, I love your reactions to everything. The joys of improv. Yes,
And
and
They're like,
hey,
yes, I
honestly,
remember that day. It was great.
all right, let's get
I don't
back
see
into
what
the
you're
plot.
talking about.
Nah, it's all good. Y'all have played games with me long enough that I'm always gonna throw stuff at you, and we're just gonna make up stuff on the fly. But it is great television, as the kids say. But back to the plot. Yeah, I remember I was crying, I was angry, I was frustrated. You and Malcolm were consoling me, and on the day that you two came to see us off, I told you that no matter the distance, no matter the length, we would always find a way back to each other. And sure enough, it took us a long time because I finally came back about a year ago. And, well, I mean, me and you now are reconnecting. I wish we could figure out what happened to Malcolm, but you really, I mean, you told me that you two kind of were still together, and then once y'all went to high school, you kind of went your separate ways. So the point I'm trying to make here is that as people get older, they tend to change, and some people change for the better, some people change for the worse, as me and you have come across, especially my eternal rival Mark Fang. Oh God, I hate his guts. Um, but that's besides the point. Um, I think change is something that we can't necessarily stop, and the people that we grew up with or the people that we know can change for the better. They can change for the worse, or they can just stay at where they're at. I mean, everyone's
Mhm.
journey is completely different. I think the important thing, though, is that we need. I think the people that we gel with and the people that we find, to enjoy company with, I think that those are the relationships that we need to put the energy and effort in. I mean, as much as I was being gushy and being in my feels when, I was talking to you and your friend Phineas earlier today, but I truly meant every single word that I uttered. Coming back here after all this time, I was racked with worry and anxiousness, and, I was worried that I'm coming back here. I don't have anyone. My parents are still back in Thailand, so it's truly me out here by myself wanting to make this culinary dream a thing and a reality. And then it just so happened that we and by chance reconnected, found each other, and now it's like we're picking up wherever we left off. And I don't have a lot of people I confide in, again, because I'm very focused on getting this food truck business out there, and then eventually I'll return to culinary school to finish it and graduate and finally get the recognition and the certificates and all that good stuff that will allow me to do more things. But honestly, I wasn't sure, and I don't know if I told you this before, but I wasn't sure how, when we first reconnected, I was worried that, we weren't going to be able to be the same, but, we kind of fell right back into it like we were in middle school. And, the
Mhm.
more time I spent with you, it made me realize that one, I'm not alone, I have somebody to support me, but number two, Kyler, you're the type of person I want to spend my energy and my time and invest in this friendship and this relationship we have, because you're important to me. And I think that's the thing that what I'm trying to say is that people are going to change, the people we know, people but I think you just need to find, the right people to invest your time and energy in, because if they truly care and love about you, they're going to invest their time into you too, to get to know you, to learn your quirks, your ins and outs, and basically, they're going to uplift you in every single moment they can, just like you do with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess things just we can't count on everything just staying the same all the time.
No, and sometimes I think about if life would be a lot easier if that was the case, and sometimes I think it might be.
Hmm.
But, you know, and pardon my horrible food puns here, but I mean, that's bland, that's boring, that's like food without any seasoning. And I think, the uniqueness and the dynamics that our relationships, whether they be good or bad, is what makes life more interesting. It gives it its flavor. And, sometimes we end up liking it, sometimes we don't. But in all those experiences, we learn from them, we carry it with us, and then we decide what we want to do with it and who we want to spend our time with. So, but I understand where you're coming from. I really do, because I've been noticing that around town lately too with some of the people I interact with. But
Hmm.
again, that's why coming back here and being here for a year and reconnecting with you, it's shown me that I would rather put my time and my energy in the people who are going to uplift me, and I uplift them in return. That's why I have you, and that's why I have, good old ma and pa out at the food market too, that, give me the ingredients, but also it's feels very nice because they have become surrogate parents for me, since my parents are still, overseas taking care of the family business and everything, and that I have them here to kind of quote, look out for me and give me a little piece of home. And that's what I feel with you too. You give me a piece of home too, so I don't feel so out of place here.
Okay. All right. That all does make sense. Uh, Thank thank you.
Well, I appreciate you talking to me too. I know I joke around a lot, and I give you a hard time, and all that good stuff, but at the end of the day, Kyler, I owe everything to you, because it is your encouragement that has gotten me this far. And I hope and I pray that if I haven't done so already, that I can return the favor and be as a cornerstone for you and your endeavors and what you want to do, and decide what you're gonna end up doing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, I know it's been a long day. You clearly look exhausted, so I will let you go, and um, I'll let you go rest. And so Q gets up and just says, "I'm gonna be up for a little bit. I'm gonna finish doing with this new dish idea, flavoring technique I'm gonna try, but I promise I won't stay up too late." So, um, well, I mean, I'll see you in the morning. And Kyler, as you kind of stand up to be like, "I'm ready to hit the hay," Q just comes in and just gives you a hug and just, you know, puts his hand on your shoulder, just gives you a subtle nod, and then goes back to the kitchen.
Sounds good. Thanks for hearing me out on all this. I know it kind of seem kind of sudden, but these things come just randomly come to mind.
No, and honestly, Kyler, that's one of the many reasons that I like you, is because of the fact that you like to have conversations that aren't necessarily the norm, but they can also tend to get deep in it too. So it brings me true joy to be able to hear you out.
Hmm. Thank you.
Well, anyways, sweet dreams and all that nonsense, and yeah, I'll see you in the morning. As so, Q goes back to the kitchen and continues working on his flavoring technique.
Cool.
Cool. So we'll come back to you in a little bit, Kyler. Flashbacking over to Phineas. So Phineas, again, as Miguel is telling you and showing you all these things and articles that he has found and statements and things like that. Externally, you are listening to all of this, and internally, you did mention that you were getting a little worried. So let's expand upon that. So internally, how is Phineas feeling right now with all of this?
The main thing is like I don't know. It's a very uncertain feeling because like you are one of these heroes that Miguel is researching about, and yet you're hiding it from a friend that you've had for the better part of 6+ years. Like it kind of sort of tugs on the fact that like I want to say something, but at the same time, like I don't need the heat. um, so a good chunk of it is I want him to. I'm not trying to deter him, or I won't try to deter him from looking into this, but at the same time, I'm just kind of not saying anything because that's gonna be that's gonna be a whole different bag of worms. So yeah, that's pretty much like he's on a good track, and it will be interesting to see uh, the information that he pulls up. Plus, it's kind of sort of fun. Like I like people going down rabbit holes. I like people watching people go down these rabbit holes to see the kind of things that they can think up, and then I could be like, "Huh, I might have to use that one of these days." Yeah. So
I would love to see it. So, you know, as Miguel continues to rattle off all these things, he turns to you as he's saying these things, and externally you're listening, but internally you're just like, "Oh God, what is he doing? Oh no, what is it? Ah!" It's like, "Oh, this is. Oh, he's good. Oh, what if he?" Miguel notices this and he closes the laptop. So it's like, "I am so sorry, Phineas. I was rattling on everything. Hi. You know what? Let me put this down for a little bit." Puts the laptop back in the bag, and how was your day? It's been a hot minute since me and you gotten to talk, and it seems that you've also been up to some stuff too. So, how are you holding up?
can't complain. Like it's been a busy couple of weeks. Uh, just kind of trudging through it. Like, sorry, I haven't really been contacting you or anything, but it is. There's a little more on my plate than I actually thought that there was going to be, but I am working through it. Not
Mm,
all too bad. Just a little like high stress, like the whole work thing. Like, yeah,
mm. Work is still giving you issues, huh?
every day. It wouldn't be work without going to work and having stress. Wait, I think that's what people call a dream job. My but the thing is, and I've told you this before, Miguel, that like my dream job is to not have a job. Because why would I want to dream about having a job? Like seriously. But nonetheless, like no.
No, I understand how you feel, Phineas. I really, really do. And you don't have to apologize for not checking in. I understand that things are a little bit that you're a very busy man. And I understand that I can't occupy your time wholeheartedly, but that is also on me too, because I should also be reaching out and checking in with you more as often as I can as well. So for that, I apologize.
No worries. Life.
Yes,
Life.
life is very, very busy,
Life
which,
is very life.
well, I mean, if you want me to, I could come over and stay the night or two like I usually do to kind of help you out. And, I'm sure that. I'm sure my little brother would love to come see you because he loves you.
As fun as that would be, at least for right now, uh, I need a little few couple of days to process what's been happening.
That
But
is perfectly okay with me.
you
I can
definitely
give you
got to
that
bring your
space.
brother. You got to bring your little brother over because I want to see what he thinks about with this Kitsune man. Like,
Oh my gosh, the kid never stops talking about him. But honestly, I can't blame him. I mean, I've told you this before. Like when we talked the day after that whole thing went down at the mall, I honestly, as crazy as it was and as helpless as I felt, honestly, I'm kind of glad that it happened the way it did because now, I mean, it's helping me with my research and all these heroes, which is really fun. But I think more importantly, I think that incident taught me that I I need to make sure that I can be able to protect the people that mean the most to me, and my brother and you are the two people that are very important to me. Not to say that like my abuelita and the rest of my family aren't, but you two are at the top of my list because one, I mean, I hang out with you more than I do my family, and in fact, you are my family. Considering at this point, especially as abuelita says it so. because you're always invited to family dinners on Sundays. But I the incident at the mall, I think, kind of just kicked my butt into gear because it showed me how truly unprepared and powerless I truly was. And I need to make sure that even though I'm not a superhero, I need to be able to, be better at making decisions and helping out and protecting you and my uh, brother. I mean, thank God Kitsune Man was there for the whole entire time because he was able to make sure the both of you were safe. At least that's what my brother said. Um, and as he's saying this, Phineas, you can see as he's kind of like unwrapping, his, hands with the like unwrapping the tape from his wrists and his hands and taking off everything. And he's changing out of his athletic gear into something more comfortable. You see that there are healed up like tissue scars and and kind of remembering that Miguel kind of took a really nasty hit and he took some really hard hits, back at the mall. And so over time, those scars have begun to heal. And you come to the understanding that, you were able to prevent a lot more damage that could have been done had it not been for these superhero powers. But you also start to notice too that there seems to be a lot more recently healed scars across Miguel's body that you don't necessarily remember them being there last time that you came over to be quote unquote punching bag holder while he sparred. You can see some recent healed up bruises and what looks to be fresh scars healing. um I would like for you to roll me I'm going to call it a notice check. I'm going to have you do a notice roll.
I got it. Just a second.
Rolling dice in a TTRPG.
Right? We'll add like the attention to detail.
Mm-hmm.
Out of every single time, combat rolls, perception rolls during a boss fight, I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and barely get a success. I'm going to notice apparently very well because I just got a 12.
Oh, shit.
I got an 11 plus the 1 from attention to detail. Apparently, when it comes to a non fighting aspect of things, I'm just going to absolutely kill it.
Oh, man. We'd love to see it.
No.
So we literally enter big brain mode right now. No, so Phineas, as you are kind of using your analytical skills, your bookworm knowledge, things like that, you are able to surmise and you are able to come to the correct conclusion that these bruises and this recent scarring across, hands, body, and all that stuff, you come to the conclusion that Miguel may or may not have been roughed up. Now, you and Miguel have been friends for a very long time. And while he is this happy go lucky individual now, there was a time and a period where he's a one hell of a reporter, but his passion and what helps him relieve stress is his amateur MMA career, sparring, fighting, participating in matches, stuff like that. However, you also remember that before this version of Miguel existed, there was another version of Miguel that y'all went through the fire and the flame. You got your friendship was tested, especially because you were trying to get him out of, these illegal fighting rings and, underground fights and things like that. And it was because of your friendship with him and kind of being the person to push against him as he was trying to, cautiously throw his life away just for the sake of the thrill of the fight and the money that came with it. Um, it you come to the conclusion that Miguel has been roughed up, but as of right now, you are not 100% sure whether it's just from recent training or things like that, or he may or may not have, decided to dabble back into his old way of life. The only true way you're going to find that answer out is if you ask him directly.
Well, I'm definitely one of those people that I don't shoot first, ask questions later.
Mm-hmm.
So for something like that, I'm gonna wait it out for just a little bit.
All right,
Uh,
sounds good. So I will write down that you know that you have this piece of knowledge stored. And so whenever you feel like the right time is, then we can address it. But that is going to be in your back pocket for now.
Perfect.
So as Miguel gets up and he changes, and it's just like, well, I mean, I would ask if you would wanted to stay for dinner, but you said you already ate. So, I mean, if you want to watch me eat, that's fine. If not, you're more than free to go home and we can catch up later. I know you're tired.
Yeah, I might have to take a rain check.
And you know what? I look forward to that rain check whenever you are ready. But hey, I'm always here for you. And again, I apologize if I haven't been around lately, and I apologize for all of that.
Life.
Life. And so Miguel walks you out of the garage. He gets you an Uber to head back home. He pays for it and everything, so you don't have to. And Phineas, as you kind of watch and you wave out, to Miguel to kind of just say bye, you finally find yourself in this Uber, finally at a moment's peace, decompressing, thinking about everything that has transpired, and you eventually make your way home, where again you walk into the, well, it depends, either the comfort or the unnervingness of how quiet this house is, since it's just you living here. um, but yeah, as you make your way to bed and you finally are able to embrace the you know embrace of your bed, um, what is going on in your brain right now, Phineas? Where is your state of mind? What are you thinking about? How are you decompressing? Like, what's going on in that head?
It, more than likely, it there's too much noise in my brain to comprehend. So typically, it is put on something like a chill step track or something on Spotify, like maybe light up a little bit and just like quick shower, bed. Like my brain kind of does one of those things where it's like too much crap now, process later. And so that's kind of what I'm doing. Like I'm finding a way to kind of like, I guess, compartmentalize, if you will, and like kind of slough the day off through the shower and then do the slips. No, you're muted.
Which is very fair. That's all I said. Very, very fair. So, Phineas, as you kind of are beginning to head off into dreamland. And Kyler, same thing for you. Around this time, you find yourself embracing, the embrace of sleep itself. Things have been kind of crazy, and things have been very, very involved. You both, as you fade into the night and to sleep, you replay everything that has happened so far. You guys have went undercover at the performing arts school. You made some new friends. You found, discovered some very, very unnerving and unfortunate, events happening to Felix and how cruel humanity can be to an individual. But you also understood, and it is thanks in part due to your empathetic powers and being a superhero, that you somehow can make a difference in all of this. But as you are trying to wrap your heads around all of that, the exhaustion and, everything that has kind of just been weighing upon you both kind of just smooths itself out, and you both embrace the sleep. Not sure what comes next, but for the moment, it seems that you guys have done a good thing. And, when the time comes, we'll see what comes of that and the fruition of all that change, and see what happens with Felix and everybody involved that you've met so far in, how it goes with them in the future. And that is where we're going to end our session tonight. So, oh man, this was a lot of fun.
We're gonna have to find Paco.
Oh yeah. Next episode, we're gonna find out what happened to Pancho.
No, but it's gonna be one of those things that, like, for the first couple of times until he says it, it's gonna be like Inosuke talking to Tanjiro.
Yeah.
Where I may potentially get his name mixed up like a couple of times
On purpose.
Like, yeah, it'll be like Paco, Pueblo, like
Puerto Vallarta.
no, not that much, because no, that's two words. You have to do it just one.
That's true.
Yeah, but I won't do like Pinocchio because that's Italian. You can't do that. So like you gotta find that fine balance. But that I might have to do that.
Amazing. But yeah, that's gonna be it, boys. Congratulations. We made it to the end of the official first big long arc for QUEERZ. You guys did it. You were able to explore the inner space. You guys were able to cause a change of heart, and to a certain extent, you guys were able to break through and take down the Justice Knight of Order and Control, which was very, very fun. So we got to get up on out of here, but do not fret. It's going to be a couple of weeks. We will be back in December. Again, Thanksgiving break is almost upon us, so all of us are going to be spending time with our loved ones. And then, of course, it is straight into the holiday season. So we will be back in December for our next episode of QUEERZ, where we will potentially, well, first we'll find out what Pancho is up to and how that's all going down. And then we'll also kind of start setting up for what's to come next, because I'm excited for all of that. But again, I would like to thank Will and Halfling Wizard Productions for allowing me to tell this story here on this platform. I love and appreciate him and everybody involved. I would like to thank my players for being here, because without them, I cannot tell the story alone, and it is not as fun without them. And so I'm happy that we got it. But yeah, when we come back in December, we're going to find out what happened to Pancho. We're going to see what is in store next for our heroes. So until next time, remember, you all take care of yourselves, love one another, be here, be true to yourselves. And until next time, we loves yas. And I look forward to our next episode. But until then, adios, sayonara. And until next time, my friends, we'll see you later. But until then, peace.
Tiny robes he's wearing so fine, in the tavern sipping on wine, knows the secrets of the old halfling wizard never told. Mystic wand and a pointed hat, talks to people about this and that, sneaky tricks and a wink in his eye. halfling wizard makes the hours fly. Oh, halfling wizard in the night, casting spells to the moonlight. He can talk and he can know, in his world the magic grows. Down the road in evening light, he'll engage you, that's his delight. Readers of the stars he seeks, in a crowd he's sure to speak.